Hello, welcome back to Crushing Sounds. My name is Chris, and today I'm joined by Clarke from the metal
Yo,
band Callus. Thanks so much for
how's
joining
it
me, man.
going?
How you doing?
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, man. Been a roller coaster today, but I'm much better now. I'm talking to you.
Cheers, man. Welcome to Crushing Sounds.
Thank
So,
you.
basically, I guess this interview is kind of in preparation for your upcoming second album, which comes out at the end of October. And ahead of this interview, you guys sent me a press pack, which was really good of you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
It allowed me to
welcome.
listen to said album. We'll get to that in just a little bit. I've got loads of questions about the album, but
Of course.
before then, reading through my research, I was excited to learn that you played our favorite ever festival. So, for those of you at home playing the Crushing Sounds drinking game, I'm going to say it. You played Bloodstock
Yes, that's it, man.
back in 2018. I will always find an excuse to talk about Bloodstock.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you're able to cast your mind way back then, but do you remember what that experience was like?
yeah. Bloodstock was oh, it was just out of this world, you know. So we played the Jaeger stage. So Simon was kind enough to offer us a slot on the Jaeger stage, which was it was just insane, like just absolute insanity. People were just spilling in, from all sides around the stage and that, and I was right on the edge of the stage and just could just look out and just see people coming around the corner and that, and just trying to peek around to see the band, and it was just amazing, just once in a lifetime experience for us as a band, and 10 out of 10 would do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Jaeger stage is always a really cool one at Bloodstock, just because
Yeah.
they feel like all rules go out the window. Everyone just goes
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
crazy on that stage. Have you had the chance to
absolutely.
even just attend Bloodstock as an audience member since then?
Yeah, so I went to Bloodstock in 2016. That was the first time I got to go to Bloodstock, and that was it was just a day ticket actually for that one. Quite busy outside of band and everything, but yeah. So I did the day ticket for Gojira and Mastodon, and man, like Gojira just slayed it. Like it was when Magma had come out, and there was just a vibe in the audience when Gojira played, and it was electric, and that was a very 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 pivotal moment for me. Seeing Gojira, it was like wow, like these guys are just fucking incredible, and I think it blew everyone's head off. Like whoever saw that, I think would probably agree that it was that good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't attend that year. I've attended every year since then, but I did hear
Oh,
that
nice.
apparently Gajira just blew Mastodon out of the water completely.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and that's that's from a long time Mastodon fan, myself, and that, and it's just hands down truth right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
of course. No wonder they brought them back to headline a few years later. But
Oh, definitely.
anyways, have
Yeah.
Callus played any other awesome festivals?
Yeah. So 2018 again. That was quite an amazing year for us. So obviously the same year, in the March, we did Hammerfest. So that was really cool. That was our first big festival slot, and then we got through on like a battle of the bands for Mammoth Fest the same year as well. That was in I think October or something in 2018. But yeah, there was some cracking fests in their own right. All very different, but just great experiences, all of them.
Yeah, so 2018 was a very busy festival year for you guys.
Yes, it was. Yes, yeah. We actually got given Amplified Fest in 2019, but then that whole thing went completely AWOL. So that just disappeared. Like I think like it's like 2 weeks before the whole festival got pulled, and everyone was like, "What?"
That sucks.
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah,
I think some people are still waiting on refunds for that festival in 2019. Yeah, yeah. No,
yikes.
no word of a lie, honestly.
Ooh, okay, I'd steer clear of those
Yeah,
organizers in the future.
yeah. It was a funny one. Not sure what happened to that one, but that's true, man.
Yeah. Do you have a preference between like small intimate shows and festival kind of shows?
They're two different beasts. So intimate shows, obviously we've played far more, smaller intimate shows than we have, big festivals and that. They're great. Festivals, you have, obviously a lot more people, and there's much more of a, energy there, and there's more people. You kind of, it's just a different vibe. You know, I think it's easier to connect with, certain people at smaller venues and, more intimate shows, like you say. You can single out people a bit more, and, you can kind of it's a bit more personal that way. But the festivals, like, just having as many people there, is just crazy. It just takes you to a new level. And I think everyone's there at a festival just to kind of, go crazy. And, it's great. They're both amazing,
Yeah, definitely. I also noticed that you have a Badger Fest coming up very soon. That
Yes.
that lineup looks so good. It's kind of like all the
Yeah.
best UK extreme metal bands all in one place. How are you feeling
Yeah.
about that impending show?
Oh yeah, so excited, man. So it'll be our second gig back since the whole COVID thing happened. So yeah, we're totally buzzed to play that gig. You know what I mean? I think we're playing the second stage. So it's at the Bread Shed in Manchester, obviously. Yeah, dude, can't wait to play that. Just see some more people and just be a part of such a massive and, like you say, heavy and extreme lineup is just cracking. 10 out of 10, mate.
Yeah, so good. I wish it sounds like this. I wish I lived nearer those kind of places so I can get to those kind of festivals. I think the closest I
Oh,
get is Bristol's. Oh god, I forgot what it's called now. It's a metal festival just outside of Bristol that Opeth are playing next year, so I might have to go see that one.
that
But
Arctangent.
that's the
Arctangent.
one. That's the
Is that the
one.
one? Yeah, nice.
Yes.
I've been
Sorry.
meaning to check that festival out for a while. Yeah, that'll be really cool to attend. Yeah.
Yeah. The only difficulty is it's a week after Bloodstock, so I might not be alive. So, but
Oh
we'll see.
shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so we mentioned sort of other metal scenes. I'm always curious to
Yeah.
ask fans about their local metal scene. You guys are from
Yeah.
Lancaster, if I've got that right.
Yeah. So, admittedly, we need to update the bio. So we formed in Lancaster in 2013. So we've still got, our roots in Lancaster, basically. But we're in Preston at the minute. It's only a few miles down the road. Splitting hairs, but that's where the practice base is now. But yeah, both Lancaster and Preston. We consider them both our home. But yeah, the in terms of other heavy bands and that, yeah, there's Insurgency from Lancaster. Those guys are really, really cool. Friends of ours since we started the band. And then Preston has got loads. You've got Wrath of Man, you've got Shrike, All Consumed as well. And I think Solitary. And oh yeah, Ward 16 as well.
Cool.
So there's some amazing bands that have come from Preston, bit bigger and that, but yeah,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
great
Awesome.
stuff, man.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So you meant let's take things back to the beginning. You mentioned that you guys formed in
Yeah,
2013. So
yeah,
how did Callus come to be?
yeah. So I was in high school, and this kid called Ben started as well. He started in the same class. Ben is the bass player from Callus, and yeah, we were just like, oh yeah, you like Black Sabbath? I was like, yeah, I like Black Sabbath, and we just went from there. Basically, started sharing. He showed me System of a Down. I showed him some harder stuff. Metallica and things like that. And yeah, it just kind of went from there, and we just enjoyed same music, and then we just started jamming, and that was it. We knew that we wanted to form a band, really, so we just went from there, man. Started jamming, and eventually, yeah, we had like a list of potential band names on like some A4 bits of paper, and we were looking through it one day, and he spotted Callus was there, and he was like, "That's it! Like that's got to be it. That's the name of the band," and that was it. We just went from there.
Yeah, brilliant. Do you remember any of the other potential suggestions?
Oh, that is a good question. Um, One of them was Detritus. That was quite a good one, I thought. Which is obviously like the scum left behind, and that that's quite a dirty appropriate name, and that. I think the others kind of just turned into like song names. I think some of the early song names. So like Skunk was one of them as well. I think that was a potential band name, and then we just kind of pinched and just mashed up some of the names together to make some of the first song names and stuff. And yeah, but man, I should really try and find that sheet again. It'd be crazy to see some of the some of the could have beens.
Yeah, basically anything dirty and potentially gross and disgusting.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome, love it.
I think Comatose was one of them as well. That was pretty cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, your first release was the single "Through Blood, Sweat, Piss and Pain."
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was 2017, was it?
Yeah, that was 2017. So that was a 3-track EP. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So, what was the gap between forming in 2013 to 2017? Obviously, I assume
Oh
the first
yeah,
few years were just working things out, but
yeah, definitely.
when did you really get down and start making that thing?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. It was quite a while. We take a while to get into moving gear sometimes. Um, and Callus is and has always been. It's been our first proper band. So myself, I played in. I jammed with a couple of mates prior to Callus. But it was never like a real band. And it is Ben's first band as well. So naturally, with it being like the first proper band, we had a lot of call it like teething issues. You know what I mean? So we had drummers, come and go in the early years of the band, and and that took us up to 2017 really to kind of get to the point where it was like, right, like we've got the material, and let's get in there into the studio and make it work and actually put it to, put it to recording finally. So it took us a long time to get to that stage. You're right, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the process of recording that? Did it go smoothly?
Yeah, so well, the short answer is no. um, basically, we recorded that in Preston. Funnily enough, in one of the recording rooms where we rehearse now. So it was in like a couple of rooms, like a few doors down from where we are now, is where we recorded that EP. That was recorded with a producer called Mark Johnson, and so we had a drummer at the time, and we got into the studio, and it didn't work out with him, unfortunately. So it just kind of, once we were up against it, it didn't work with him. So we said, right, put it on hold. Fair enough. We'll get, the producer did it. So the producer Mark, he drummed on the EP for us. So yeah, so we had a bit of a teething issue there, but we managed to do the EP, against all odds. So which is why we called it, Through Blood, Sweat, Piss and Pain, because that was the mentality and the, the drive to fucking get this, first thing, committed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, awesome stuff. So
Yeah.
how quickly were you able to sort of form the sound that Callus would eventually become? Did it come
Mm.
pretty quickly, or was it developed over quite a long period of time?
It was pretty quickly, really. Or pretty quick, I should say. Yeah. Like I say, me and Ben have, we've been tight, since, prior to the band. And then obviously, we've always agreed like 99% of the time musically, even while still bringing different ideas to it. So me and Ben have always been like very much tuned into each other. So in terms of, sorry, what was the question again?
Oh, so yeah, sort of how quickly did the sound of Callus form, like the kind of musical identity of you guys, basically?
Yeah. I'd say pretty quickly because, like I say, me and Ben have been always tuned in quite well, and then obviously with with drummers, coming and going, they've kind of slotted into what me and Ben have really been doing, and because it's just guitar based drums, and then me and Ben share vocals. There's not really the kind of like we're not like sweet picking, we're not kind of like playing like crazy off the scale, spider chords and stuff like that. It's very much like heads down, riffs, let's go kind of thing. And it's it's always just stemmed from there, really. It's more accessible than I think than like the real crazy speed thrash or something like that. But we like to kind of pick bits of different sounds and stuff. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, awesome stuff.
If that answers your question, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's all great.
Bit of a
So
rant.
that's all right. So of course, following on from your three-track EP, you had your first album, Hog Apocalypse, released in
Yes.
2019. That's an awesome title, by the
Yes.
way.
Oh, nice one.
Was there anything you took away from the making of that album which influenced how you approached your upcoming second album?
That's an interesting one. Again, our band has kind of been against sort of like it's been like against all odds. It's been quite an uphill battle for our band. So every album, every release has been like a real kind of like achievement for us. Like shit, like we did it. Like we actually did another one, and then every single one, hopefully with many more to come, is like a proper big lifetime achievement for us. So yeah, so Hog Apocalypse is so we recorded that at our drummer Ryan's at the time, his house, and that was recorded there in 2019. Took us a few months. it was quite a long, drawn out process, admittedly. We spent a lot of time on and off, day here, day there, so it's quite long and drawn out. So it wasn't as like focused, I don't think, as say like the new one where the new album where we went away and we stayed there for a week and we did the whole thing, just under a week. We did the whole thing, in one batch, which is just far more productive and just in the zone. So Hogpocalypse was kind of spread out. That phrase that Bilbo Baggins says, he says, "I feel like butter spread over too much bread." So so Hogpocalypse is a bit like that. But yeah, we stand by it, man. We love it. Some of the tunes on there, they are some of our earliest tunes, even predating some of the ones from the EP and that, prior, so yeah, we love it, man. We absolutely love it. And every album is like a snapshot, you know what I mean? Of like where we were and where we are in time and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff. I like that comparison that you made, because my band we've had limited recording experiences, but we've done the two types. So our first release was we'd all go in at different times really to do our little bits, and then for our second recording session, we stayed there for a few days and just got it done. And I completely agree. The latter, to us especially, was a lot more productive, really, and the end product came out better. I don't know if you would agree with that as well.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, there's a vibe and there's a feeling like to a recording when it's been made under like enjoyable and pleasurable conditions. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so, you're all there together, and you're all vibing, you're all having a good time, hopefully, and that just comes out in the music, and you're sinking so much into an album. It's got to be like that. It's got to be the way that you do it. You've got to be enjoying it when you do it, and if you're not enjoying it when you're doing it, it just becomes long and drawn out and just not as focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I also think it helps to, if you stay there, you can stay in the same frame of mind, same headspace. So you're not, you're not trying to get back into the headspace of recording, really, because recording is exhausting. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's like guide tracks and just like, bane of my life.
Yeah, definitely.
The bane of my life was doing those for the new one. Like, as enjoyable as it was to record the new album. God, it's hard work. It's really hard work, but it's, you got to put the hard work in to get the groundwork, and then you can start layering stuff, and then you're flying. Then
yeah, absolutely. So also was just curious to ask if there was this is a potentially completely random question, but is there any reason why Hogpocalypse is not on Spotify?
That's a good question. We have not got around to it yet. So we are cavemen and dinosaurs combined. Where we're not great on the digital front, but very kindly, that there is an offer from Trepanation Recordings, who we're with now for the new album. He did mention that he would do Hogpocalypse onto Spotify via the label for us. So that will be making its way onto Spotify. It naturally kind of got bumped down the priority list when we were writing for the new one, and recording, and everything at the minute is, hell for leather, promotion for the new one, and, all that kind of good stuff. But it will make its way onto Spotify. But yeah, it kind of, we just kind of sort of moved on a bit, but it does need to go on there. You're right. And it would be nice to get it up there.
Yeah, of course. Before that happens, though, if anyone wants to check it out, is there anywhere where people can find it?
Yeah, definitely on Bandcamp. So we love Bandcamp. It's amazing. It's the best tool for supporting artists. Go to Bandcamp. It's Callus 117, and you'll be able to find everything we've got. Available.
I'll link all of your shit in the description below, so people can go.
Oh yeah,
you guys some support. Cool. So we've mentioned the new album a couple times now, so let's not waste any more time. Your second full-length album, A Breath of Flesh Air, again, amazing title,
nice one.
Drops on October 29th. I have had the privilege to listen to it a couple times already, so thank you so much for that. In short, it's a really, really solid album. It's
Nice one.
Really cool stuff.
Thanks, dude.
Just no worries, man. Just a fun question out of the way. How many other people, apart from myself, have misread that the first time they saw it as a breath of fresh air?
I think there's quite a few. I think I think so. It's funny because if it was called a breath of fresh air, it would be totally lame.
Yeah, that's not very callous. It's got to have
Yeah,
something, dirty in there,
yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for all those people who have to wait a bit longer who haven't heard the album yet, how would you describe what to expect from this album?
Good question. It's so I think it's a bit more varied, and some people will be like, "Oh no," but that's cool. I think so. We've tried some new stuff. Um, yeah, mainly I do some singing. Oh shit. Yeah, so I do a bit of singing on it, but it's still got the heavy vocals. It's so obviously if you're coming from a point where you've listened to Callus before, you'll know it's all about massive riffs. So the riffs have never sounded quite so massive than they do on this one. We wanted to dial that up like 211 and beyond, and I'm happy to say that we did. But yeah, I think it's doomier as well. This one, I think it's got a bit more of a doomier vibe. It's a bit shorter this time as well, so it's punchier as well. So we went for quality over quantity for this one, and I think it worked out really nicely. It's more textured. It's got more sort of like different instrumentation on it. I really do feel like it's it's the best work yet for Callus. I believe the band feels the same way as well. So
Yeah, awesome. I'm sure they do. Awesome stuff. You mentioned you integrated some clean vocals into that. I really liked the sung vocals in it. I thought they're really cool. I'm big on variety. I love variety in music, basically. So, but where did the inspiration come to start integrating that?
Yeah, so like I mentioned Mastodon, earlier and stuff. Big Mastodon fan. Still am. And we like this different styles that a band like Mastodon bring to the table. They bring a lot of different influence, from they have like 4 members, don't they? So we like mixing it up, and we don't want to limit ourselves as our band. Like, we're only a 3-piece, right? But I, and Ben, we share vocal duties, and I've always, enjoyed, singing and, clean vocals and stuff as well. Like I say, as well as the heavier stuff. And it's just another string to our bow that we've always wanted to kind of include in our sound. And, and until some of these songs were kind of starting to be, written, we were like, at least I always felt like, how can I incorporate some of these, other styles into Callus? And we found a way. It was really hard doing the singing stuff because, it doesn't necessarily come naturally to myself, but I knew where I wanted to go with it. And the producer Chris that we worked with, like, man, like that guy is just, he's out of this world. Like, he's just such a good guy to work with, and he works with you, and he tells you when you're wrong, and he tells you when you're out of tune and all that stuff. But he really gets where you're trying to go with an idea sometimes, and he just works with you. And like, it was just amazing to add, that extra dynamic to the Callus sound, and it's something we just want to build upon, going forward for whatever lies around the corner.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So looking at what you guys, the label seemingly that you guys use to describe yourselves most often, it seems to be stoner metal. Now, I'm not really one for stoner metal, nothing against it. I just haven't really dived into it yet much as a genre. But what struck me about this album is it's got a terrific pace to it. It's quite I don't want to say fast, but it almost feels fast for stoner metal. It doesn't drop the speed very much. It keeps it very mid-tempo, which I liked a lot. I have to ask, therefore, since I'm not well versed in this subgenre, was the idea to make it a mid-tempo thing? Is that a novel idea for stoner metal, or are there other bands that inspired you to do that?
I'm not really sure. Like, admittedly, we've always struggled to, genre our band. You know what I mean? Like, the best way to genre our band is just heavy metal, pretty much. Because obviously, having listened to the album, we're pulling from a lot of different influences. There's punk, there's doom, there's some thrashier stuff, there's some there's like instrumental stuff as well, like, so we're trying, we pull on these different styles because we enjoy them. We don't mind how it gets labeled, we don't mind what genre it is, or that's fine. We just call it Callus, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we just whatever comes naturally,
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, definitely. I was also
Yeah.
intrigued to read in the press pack that you labeled instrumental space rock as one of your
Yeah.
influences. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah.
Where does that come into things?
I think that's so we didn't write the press pack. So it was interesting to see that kind of that reference put in there. And yeah, I think that's probably in reference to Catet, which is the one of the second song from the album, which is out currently, so people can listen to that. It was a lead single from the album. Yeah, it sounds like really heavy Hawkwind. You know what I mean? Like, so especially with the clean vocals and just kind of, it sounds quite spacey, and like the singing, and it just, when we were in the studio, it was like, yeah, it reminded of like Hawkwind on steroids or something like that, and it was just like it made us giggle, and I think Dan at the label picked up on that as well, and then he wrote obviously the press pack. So
Yeah, fair
yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
yeah, but we did it,
Yeah, of course. Nothing lame about instrumental space rock. It's all
Oh no,
fucking.
no,
It's
of
fucking
course not.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
yeah. Cool. So one thing I adore about the album is how good the riffs are. The whole album is almost like one huge stank face. Really, it's
yeah.
really, really good. Do you have like a favorite riff writer that inspired the guitar work in particular?
Oh yeah, man. There's tons. I love High on Fire. Obviously Matt Pike from High on Fire. Like, that guy is just a fucking genius. With the guitar. Big influence for myself personally. So High on Fire is a massive influence. For the riffs. Stuff like Callus as well. You know what I mean? Like, a bit more trippy. Kind of stonery, a bit doomy as well. Yeah, James Hetfield, obviously Metallica. Like, he's been a I can't even explain how much of an influence Hetfield's playing has been to me, since picking up the guitar. Amazing. Tony Iommi as well from Sabbath, like, just crazy. Like, I could just go on, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's so many, and not even like, the big names and stuff like that, Boss Kelloid, Paul from Boss Kelloid. Like, fuck me, what that guy does on the guitar is just crazy. We've got a little nod to Boss Kelloid on the new album as well,
Oh,
because
brilliant.
we love that band, and that sounds very unique band, very unique sound. And and Callus is just, it's us three guys just taking from as many different influences as sound as we can, and just trying to make it our own, and just because we enjoy all these different bands, we enjoy these different styles, and we want to kind of like adopt pieces from here and there, and just mash them up a bit, and just put them in the blender that we call Callus, and just put it out into people's ears. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what we want to do as a band. And it's nice that it's nice that people are enjoying it, and yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. You
Yeah.
mentioned Boss Kelloid. I caught them live at Bloodstock a few years ago. They're a really, really good band.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they need
yeah,
more love. So that's another takeaway
yeah,
from
they
this video to
do.
people watching. Go listen to them. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a very guitarist's album, this new album. It's just
yeah.
really demonstrates some really, really strong riff writing. But does
Nice.
the album have any sort of underlying theme or concept that runs through it? Not necessarily in a concept album sense, but were there
Mm.
particular themes that you wanted to tackle on this album?
Yeah, we chatted about making it a concept album a while ago, but I think we felt that we had other stuff that we wanted to say within, like, the songs themselves. So it's not a concept album, but it is a collection of songs that all have kind of separate meanings, and to us as individuals, and as the lyric writers and stuff, they mean what they do to us. I'd encourage anyone who manages, or if they've got their pre-order and it comes with a lyric booklet, I'd encourage whoever to read them, and and see what they feel as well. The front cover is more of a concept, so the front cover obviously, it is what it is. But yeah, that's got a lot of meaning behind it. That's kind of it's a discovery and it's a journey, as the album was to us personally. It was quite a perilous path leading up to the album. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and personally as well. Getting to something as monumental as recording an album like that we did for us was just such a huge task, and you got to do it with your brothers, your band members and stuff, and and that's represented in the painting as well. And the painting means a lot to us, and the songs themselves, obviously, they have their own individual meanings. Yeah, something like that, I think.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Yeah, I was going to mention the artwork because it's really, really cool. It's a wicked
Cool.
painting by Ryan Hancock, I believe, is the artist
Yes.
behind it. Yeah,
Yes.
sick picture. It's so cool.
Oh man, it blew my mind. It blew my mind when I saw that, and when we all saw that. It was just, yeah, lightning bolt moment. Just we were like, you really mean that? This is ours? Like this is alongside our album? We're just like, fuck.
Yeah,
just unbelievable.
Yeah. Did you direct him on what that should look like, or did you just let him play ball, really?
Yeah, so a bit of both. I was thinking about what could the album cover be, and when we talked about it, with the band a lot, for a while, and then I gave Ryan a few ideas, a few kind of like loose themes, things like that, and then with somebody like Ryan, it's quite abstract as well. You've really just kind of, in my opinion, you've really just got to kind of say like, look, we want something, kind of along these lines, and then go for it. So then as soon as it was like, go for it, he obviously just goes for it. And the end result is never exactly what you picture in your mind, but that's the beauty of it, because he puts his artistic flair on, because he's a true artist. He needs to put his creative spin on this thing as well. So it's it becomes its own entity, if you will, when you give that and share that to an artist, and just your idea becomes something new, and it becomes a real tangible like creation, if that makes sense. And it just couldn't have turned out better, for us. And it just encompassed everything that I personally wanted, and that the band personally wanted, like, and more, because Ryan he just took it to that level, and just put that time and that effort and that detail in, like with every brush stroke, and just, oh man, love it to bits.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's the kind of thing that you don't anticipate getting really excited about when you form a band, like, but seeing your own artwork for the first time, it's just, it's something else.
It really is, and again, talking about, like influences, for Callus, like half of it is, like, man, like like these albums, these bands, again, keep going back to Mastodon, because they're just such a good example. The quality of art that those guys put out is fucking 10 to none. Gojira is another one, some incredible art that those guys, the visual side of your music is really important as well, because, your front cover is the first thing that anyone sees, and it's got to be good, and it's got to be personal, and that's something that we've learned as we grow as a band. We learn as we go, as we all do as people, as we should do. And I really feel like we got something this time around with A Breath of Fresh Air that, like, wow, like this is like really, really, really good, and we're really happy with this, because us guys need to be happy first and foremost. And it's nice to hear that, we've had good positive feedback so far, so that's always nice. But us guys need to be happy first, and we are with it. So yeah,
brilliant stuff. So obviously the album is not quite out yet, but would you say that I mean, my favorite song on the album is probably Fatberg. I think it's probably my favorite one. But would you say that there's one song that sort of sums up the album as a whole, really? Like, if people had to check out one song when it drops, which one would you recommend?
It's tricky, because as somebody who's listened to it before, listening to, say, Cinderstella off the album wouldn't represent what you hear in Toadfish. Whereas if you listen to Toadfish, that wouldn't represent what you hear in Catet. So it's quite varied. It's, I guess me personally, I would say Catet. It's certainly the one that I feel, the most passionately for. Obviously, I feel very passionately about all of the songs, but Catet is like that extra level for me personally. So I would say check out Catet. Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And obviously with the release of this new album, other than Badgerfest, and you got any shows coming up where you're going to show all this off?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are touring next year. We are doing we're doing a bunch of words. We're doing a bunch of shows through November. So it's like a staggered tour. So we are hitting up we've got Bolton, Lancaster, and then we're doing we are going to Bristol, and then we're going to Southampton. Yes, we're going to Bristol at the Griffin. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Close quarters, man. Close quarters.
Yeah, I love that venue. I've played it so many times. Man. It's so good.
Yeah. We love the Griffin. We played there in 2019. And great, like close quarters, like just, you can't get closer than that. So, so we're playing there, man. Then we're going to Bridgewater. So we're doing like a southern run. And then we're coming back up and hitting Preston again on the way back up. So, we've got a little poster out. We need to push it a bit more, with dinosaurs and cavemen. So we're shit at digital, but we need to push the tour poster more. But we've got, the tour's happening next year. So, okay, and then Badgerfest, obviously. Next month. I said next year, next month.
Yeah, of course. No worries. Yeah. Awesome stuff. So good luck with the new album, by the way, dude. As I say, it's really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Definitely everyone watching. Look out for it, everyone watching. Definitely give it a watch. So we're nearly done here. So we like to end these interviews the same way every single time by giving you some quick fire random questions. Some to do with heavy metal, some not. You can give as long or as short an answer as you like. Elaborate if you wish. Entirely up to you. Yeah. Okay, so we will start with the forever classic question: Metallica versus Slayer.
Metallica. Definitely.
I think I've only ever had one band say Slayer.
Interesting.
But almost unanimously it's Metallica. Which I guess that's fair enough, really.
No diss on Slayer, but it's Metallica for me.
Yeah, for sure. But this one's always a little bit more tricky. Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden?
Black Sabbath. I don't even need to hear who the second band was. Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath or £1 million. Black Sabbath.
Brilliant. Traditional metal versus modern metal.
Okay. Traditional, definitely.
Awesome stuff. Any notable bands other than Black Sabbath?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I'd say Metallica. And I'd also argue Motorhead as well. I guess they're kind of a hybrid. Early heavy metal band, but you wouldn't have hardly any of them if it wasn't for Motorhead. Yeah,
for sure. Horror movie versus action movie.
Horror movie. I think they're more interesting movies, to be honest with you. A horror movie done right. You know what I mean? Like Saw, in my opinion. No. But yes. Yes. They're smart films as well.
Yeah, I'll take psychological horror over slasher horror any day of the week.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
give me Babadook over Final Destination anytime.
Oh my gosh.
Going off of that though, favorite movie?
The Lord of the Rings. Words again. What is going on tonight? Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yes.
It's gotta be.
I've asked every single band that question, waiting for that answer.
And mate,
finally got it. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Which one? If you had to pick one.
So it's not going to be the Two Towers. No bash on the Two Towers. But I mean, the Fellowship of the Ring has just got so much magic. But then Return of the King as well. Like, it's just so epic in the true sense of the word. I'll say the Fellowship of the Ring. I'll say the Fellowship.
That's my favorite as well. Love that movie so much. I could quote every fucking line.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Favorite band or artist?
Oh, that is a tricky one. That is a very, very tricky one. So I have to pick a favorite.
You can pick top 3 if we must.
That's even harder. Some of my favorites would be Mastodon, of course. It would be Black Sabbath, yes. I don't know, but every time I pick one, I feel bad about not picking the other 100. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, yeah, there's so many bands that I love, and it's just, fuck it. I'll say Tuskar, my favorite band. There you go.
Hey.
Tuskar. There you go. They're an awesome underground band that you should check out. Tuskar are awesome. Yeah, you know what? My favorite band is the band T-shirt that I'm wearing on the day. There you go. Yeah. So today it's Tuskar.
Good answer. Slightly simpler question: tea or coffee?
Yeah. Coffee.
Yes. Drink of metalheads for sure.
Oh yeah.
And final question: favorite Callus song?
Favorite Callus song? I'm gonna go with Quartet.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. So there you go. That's all we have. Thank you so much, dude, for joining me today. Really appreciate you coming on.
Man. Yeah, anytime, man. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely. So good luck with the new album, man. It's awesome. Hope it does really, really well.
Thank you.
No worries.
So, you in Bristol? At the Griffin?
Absolutely. Yeah. So everyone watching, check out the links in the description below to see where you can check out Callus on social media. Get excited for A Breath of Flesh Air, which drops October 29th. Go listen to some awesome heavy metal, and I'll see you all in the next video.